So today we're with the Professor Geoffrey Jones. Is the Isidore Strauss Professor of Business History and Faculty Chair of the School Business History Initiative. He holds the degree of BA, MA, and PhD from Cambridge University, UK. He has an honorary doctorate in Economics and Business Administration from Copenhagen Business School and an honorary PhD from the University of Helsinki, Finland. He has so many teaching in everywhere, and now he's also a professor in Harvard University. Thank you so much for being with me today. So should I call you Professor Geoffrey or Jones?
Or Jeff.
Jeff? Professor Jeff.
Welcome to Dr. Sonia Wibisono YouTube channel. Jangan lupa klik subscribe karena subscribe itu gratis. Klik like, klik share agar teman-teman bisa dengar juga manfaatnya. Klik lonceng, gambar lonceng, silahkan komentar sebanyak-banyaknya.
Really interested in a lot of your research in the evolution of the global beauty industry and also history of green entrepreneurship. So you're doing it in Japan and also in USA?
Yes, I do it globally.
You do it globally?
Globally, yes.
Oh,
Latin
okay.
America, Europe, United States, and
Okay.
Asia too.
Okay, so what is the trend of the beauty industry nowadays in this era?
Well, that's a very big question. So there are many trends.
Yes.
So I think if we look in the big picture, the beauty industry used to be quite highly concentrated. There was like one image of beauty. It was a certain type of person.
Yes.
And I think in the last decade or so, it's become a lot more diverse. People can imagine different types of beauty, and you can see that across countries.
Yes.
In many ways. So that's very interesting. In terms of business, it's also interesting because we see in many countries a disintegration of traditional ways of selling beauty products. We have a lot of growth of online retail.
Yes.
And also in many ways, beauty companies are losing control of the stories of their brands with the growth of influencers. Now, many consumers don't trust what companies say about products. They rather go to their favorite influencer and read online how people judge. So that's really changing the dynamics of the industry in many ways.
Like social media now really influencing, like Kim Kardashian and their family really making a big money out of the beauty industry because of the social media. Do you think it will shift it from the big companies to like individual companies, individual like public figure that sells beauty?
I think there's clearly big companies are losing control of the market.
Yes.
It's happening quicker, say in the United States, than in, say, for example, in many Asian countries where the beauty companies continue very strong positions. But everywhere there's the growth of new beauty startups, often trying to look at different segments of the beauty market. Sometimes big companies buy those startups, sometimes they don't. So it's an industry really much in transition.
So what do you think about the stem cell industry? Is it already a good one, or is it still under research? Can we trust stem cell because they said that sometimes it can generate cancers?
I think a lot of medical interventions have unforeseen consequences.
Yes.
And we need to be rather careful
Yes.
about those. And if you look at the whole beauty industry, you can see that. You can see, various, skin lightening products, other attempts to intervene. It can be, I think we need to proceed with caution. In the long term, I'm convinced the beauty industry is going to become a lot more scientific. So people will, in the long term, take a pill and wrinkles will go away and they'll do something with their hair and grey hair will go away. And that will be even more disrupting of the traditional beauty industry. But we're not there now. I think we're in a moment of great experimentation, a lot of interest
Yes.
in what the technologies can do, but a lot of uncertainties about the risks and dangers of those technologies.
Do you like the organics cosmetics more, the natural one, or just the usual one, like the traditional one?
Do I like them personally, or
Basic on the research and on the business, like which one everybody likes?
I mean, I've written a lot about organic and natural cosmetics, and I believe, in general, that's a kind of a better type of product than certain chemicals which can have bad effects on your health. But I hesitated in that discussion because there is an enormous amount of confusion now about what is green,
Yes,
even
what
is natural, what is organic. And so the whole category is really in a kind of a mess. I think there's a general consumer concern that they don't want to put unhealthy products on their skin or whatever, but there's also a huge amount of skepticism about that category. So it's a huge challenge in the industry now. I think there's a lot of work to be done if the category is just not going to become like a nonsense category,
Yes.
really. And you can see in other products like food products or even wine products, organic or biodynamic products have been able to establish a clear identity. But in beauty it's been much difficult, partly because there are different certification schemes in different parts of the world, and that adds to the confusion. Then there's a great deal of greenwashing in the industry as well, which has further confused the whole story.
Based on your research so far, which beauty business that has the best marketing and has the best products according to your research?
Well, I don't want to advertise
yeah.
for a particular.
Maybe no need to tell the brand. Maybe just like an examples of some products or some marketing
I mean,
strategy.
there are very interesting companies around. So if you take the big Western companies, a company like L'Oreal is a very interesting company because it's very well managed and very professional. It also is able to market brands with quite different national images. It sells French brands, Parisian brands, New York brands. It's really very, very interesting that it offers consumers a very wide range of choice. The other end of the spectrum, some of the Korean companies are very
good,
interesting.
Yeah? Yes.
They're able to ride on the popularity of Korean pop culture and cultural capital in a way no other Asian companies have done. Japanese companies have been trying to globalize for 50 years, and yet their products are still really primarily focused on the Asian market. They've never really succeeded to. Well, they've tried, but they've never really succeeded to progress in major Western markets. Korean companies are actually making a greater impact, and it's a very interesting question why that is.
Happened,
They're highly innovative for sure.
How about from the marketing view? What's the difference between Japanese and Korean product? They are all Asians.
I mean, it's hard to tell. I think they're more entrepreneurial and global, I think. And Japanese companies are often extremely stuck within the Japanese within the Japanese context.
Okay.
The domestic market is the dominant in their thinking, and they've had a lot of trouble sort of escaping from that in many ways.
Yeah, but what about the U.S. company? It can sell around the world. How come? Because maybe everybody trusts USA better than other countries in the world?
Or compared, say, to Chinese products, they generally conceived to be safe. New York, New York has a global image. Hollywood is
Yes.
enormously important in markets, and with that people get a chance. You know,
To
it
go
helps
global.
it
Yes.
helps
How
the
about the
industry.
European beauty industry? What do you think about European beauty industry? They cannot go globally as massive as
Well, L'Oreal
USA.
is a classic European company,
Okay.
and the French companies are
Oh,
very successful. Some of the German companies, like Beiersdorf, for example,
yeah, they do good also.
they
Right?
do good also. So there certainly is, yeah. But US brand still has like a niche. It has like all the advantages of a successful entertainment industry.
So you think research also make a difference? Research and the people and also the human resource and the marketing. They
Yeah,
all make a
marketing.
difference.
Yeah, think about the beauty industry. It's not just about the product; it's about the marketing
The
image.
marketing image.
Yeah, and US is it's very good in areas of marketing and what else.
Okay, how about the green? Because you are really your research is in green entrepreneurship so far. So, what is the most interesting in the green entrepreneurship so far that you've been researching on?
The thing that interests me most is the role of entrepreneurs, because the green industry is driven by entrepreneurs who have a vision of an alternative world, and it's often a very difficult path because they compete against very strong incumbent
Yes.
companies, and so it's a kind of a pure example of entrepreneurship where people have a strong imagination of a different path, a highly innovative.
But it's difficult.
I mean, my recent book on the industry is on the one hand, which looks at green entrepreneurship over the last 100 years. On the one hand, it's a very optimistic story, because if you look at renewable energy, or look at organic food, or look at green architecture, it's really entrepreneurs, not governments, who've innovated and have created new technologies. It's a pessimistic story because very few people get very rich from this story.
Yes.
It's a very difficult and challenging path, because generally speaking, governments are conservative and they protect incumbent firms. Incumbents resist green technologies. You have to educate consumers why you should buy this product, why you should pay more.
Yes.
And it's very hard to pay more. And then there's like a lot of confusion, particularly now, about what green or sustainability means. So it's a difficult entrepreneurial task.
So, do you suggest some entrepreneur to go into that field, or or it's only like maybe a little responsibility to the world?
I mean, if you're a person with ambition to do something more than to just make money, I probably would, because we live in a world with melting ice caps, with rising sea levels, with rising temperatures, all sorts of disruption to ecosystems. So we live in a world that's basically unsustainable, basically. And in 50 years' time, it's going to be very difficult to live here unless we change. So, and if you're an entrepreneur with an ambition to
change the world,
to change the world, to help the world, it's a great thing to do with a huge amount of potential, I think, to do good. It's just not an easy path. It's never been an easy path. It's still not an easy path. It's only an easy path if actually you're kind of a fake green person rather than a real green person. And you can be a fake green person, and then maybe you can make some money. If you really want to introduce new technologies, pioneer new technologies, it's a difficult path, but an essential one. I mean, I think nobody imagines that governments are going to save the
planet now, yeah.
Okay, I better
the
stop,
last
right?
question. Can I get one last question? What is your tips for the beauty entrepreneurs out there? Because like so many beauty in industry now, and they are very competitive.
I think you You have to have a real passion for the industry, and you have to have a real distinctive view of what value you want to add. Because now it's with social media and everything else, it's very easy to start a beauty company, but it's very hard to grow it.
To grow and maintain it.
To maintain it.
Mm.
So unless you have a huge amount of passion and a really strong idea, it's not an industry to go in. It's too crowded. It's changing or something. On the other hand, because as we began by talking, because the industry is changing so quickly, there's definitely lots of opportunity, but there's also lots of noise going on. So you need passion, and beauty is not an easy industry either. There's fads, there's fashions, there's competition, there's powerful players. It's not an easy industry either. So without the passion and the hard work, you better do something else with your life.
Thank you so much, Professor, for your time. Thank you so much.